I never thought I'd see the day when politicians would act like junior high school kids, but here we are.
Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Give in to temptation and pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today.
Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue.
Just before Congress was supposed to vote on the spending bill to keep the government running, Representative Jamaal Bowman from the Bronx decided to allegedly pull a fire alarm.
And just before the House was scheduled to vote on that funding bill, New York Congressman Jamaal Bowman pulled a fire alarm inside the Cannon House office building. This photo has just been released by U.S. Capitol Police. Congressman Bowman told reporters he was trying to get through a door and thought the alarm would open that door. His spokesperson says it was an accident and that the congressman regrets any confusion. Some Republicans in the House want Bowman censured for his actions. Capitol Police say they are investigating.
Now, according to Jamaal Bowman's spokesperson and reports, they claim that the congressman was looking for an exit. And as he was looking for an exit, he approached this exit that had signs clearly stating that this was a fire exit. And as he was looking to allegedly find his way out, he pulled this fire alarm, hoping to unlock the doors of this fire exit. Now, this is the official story presented by the congressman, but I have to call BS on that entire story because as someone who has been in many official buildings like the Bronx County Courthouse and the federal Moynihan Courthouse, I know that these buildings have clearly signed exits. Moreover, they have security to direct you to where the exits are. And you would think that someone like a congressman like Jamaal Bowman, who has been going to this building in Washington, D.C. for over a year, would know where all of the exits are in order to get in and out of the building. So when I heard Jamaal Bowman's story, I knew that it was a lot of BS, and his behavior was basically fitting the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. Now, the actions that the congressman, I believe, participated in were just the same type of dysfunctional behavior I saw at my junior high school IS 148 from 1985 to 1987. And when it came to many of those junior high school boys, whenever they were in a class and could not comprehend the material, what happened is these individuals looked to participate in antisocial behavior, like looking to attack other students or going out here and getting a pass to the bathroom to go out here and do things like pull fire alarms. And that's basically what Jamaal Bowman, I believe, was participating in. The same type of antisocial behavior that adolescents participate in when they get frustrated about life not going their way or being in a place that they don't want to be. And Jamaal Bowman, I believe, just did not want to be in that congressional session in order to take that vote. And he didn't want to be in that congressional session to take that vote because, like many on the far right who created all of this chaos, he was one of those on the far left who did not want to see any compromise done between the red and the blue parties in order to keep the government operational. And because he was frustrated about this compromise being made, what he wanted to do was passively make it look like he was going to find an exit, but aggressively was looking for a way to disrupt the entire operations of that whole vote. And what he wanted to do was go out here and disrupt that operation by going out here and pulling that fire alarm. And again, I believe this because if you have an individual who has been going into a building for over a year, they should know where all of the entrances and the exits are for that building, because if people who go to jury duty, like I have gone to jury duty in both state and federal buildings, we are directed to where all of the exits are, and there are security there to let everybody know where everything is. So when I heard the congressman looking to make this statement saying, oh, I don't know where the exit is, I have to again call BS on that. And anyone who believes that whole story, I have a bridge that I want to sell you, because this whole action basically showed how immature this congressman is, and how this congressman is not a man. No, this congressman is a man in crisis who has the mental maturity of about a 12-year-old, because only a 12-year-old who is frustrated about a math class or a class in English because they can't read or do math will go out here and look to disrupt the learning of other people. And what this congressman wanted to do was disrupt the operations of our government. And that's the thing that also makes me shake my head about this whole situation. You have a grown man who was supposed to be, I believe, an educator before he became a congressman, and he's showing the mental maturity of a 12-year-old by participating in this whole stunt, and again showing me that he's again putting politics over people, because there are millions of people who would have been impacted by this shutdown, millions of constituents in his own community, millions of Bronx residents who needed their Social Security, millions of Bronx residents who were government workers, millions of Bronx residents who were members of the military. But instead of looking out for we the people, he put allegiance to a political party above the people to an extreme. And that really is the real serious issue I have with Jamaal Bowman as related to this stunt. Again, looking to go out here and trying to create covert contracts with the Biden administration, hoping that by pulling this stunt, he will look to go out here and gain some favor, looking to think that this will possibly lead to him being appointed to some sort of position. But I wouldn't consider this guy for any position of leadership, because he's shown me that he is not capable of handling basic responsibilities of a man, because a man, when they're about to take a vote, would be in his seat looking to go out here and take this vote and say aye to a piece of legislation that will keep the government operational and keep many Americans be able to continue to receive paychecks that will allow them to be able to go out here and take care of their business. Because as a congressperson, your job is to serve the people, not your political party. No, you were elected by we the people to serve our interests. And when I look at this Congressman Jamaal Bowman, he clearly shows me that he is not fit for office with this whole series of actions. He shows me that he is not qualified for the job of being a congressperson, because a congressperson's job is to represent the people's interests, and look out for the people, not go out here and look to go out here and bootlick and brown nose, hoping to gain favor with other members of the party. No, your job is to serve the people, and that is the big problem I have with Jamaal Bowman and many of the members of the blue and the red party as related to this whole government situation. No, what happened here is we've got a lot of immature individuals on both sides who don't know how to act like men, and instead of acting like men and women, they're acting like a bunch of children that I have, and participating in behaviors I have not seen in over 36 years. I mean, I haven't seen behavior like this since the days I went to one of the worst junior high schools in New York City, IS 148, where that place was basically like a prison yard, and all of these individuals were basically wilding out and were completely out of control. And that's what I see happening over at the Capitol building. We have 535 individuals who are acting like a bunch of junior high school kids, going out here, going into back and forths, going out here having beefs and arguments, causing a lot of drama like a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds, instead of showing some maturity and showing some examples of character by going out here and taking care of the needs of we the people, instead of trying to sate people's feelings or going out here and looking to clout chase with more popular people. I mean, I would think a grown man who has a college degree like Jamaal Bowman would be out here looking to show an example of being a man, but instead of showing us the man he is, no, he shows us he's a beta male, and he's a beta male looking to go out here and clout chase and get the attention of all of these people in his party, instead of looking to serve we the people, and instead of looking to meet the needs of we the people. And this whole situation is just embarrassing when I see it, because again, I'm watching a grown man acting like a child, and watching a grown man basically embarrass himself by going out here and trying to make it look like, oh, I didn't know that this was a fire exit. Any kid who's been in a building knows where the fire exits are and knows not to press those exits and to go find another exit, or they know to ask security in this building, because there's a lot of security in these buildings. So he could have, again, done those things. And again, with his ID, if he had his congressional ID, they would have actually acquiesced to him and tried to show him where everything is. So when I hear this story, it's just a whole lot of garbage, and just shows me that many people in the Bronx need to rethink who they vote for, because if you have a congressman who will pull this kind of juvenile stunt, they are not fit for office. Now, a lot of people are talking about how on January 6th, a white guy went out here and participated in similar behavior and was sentenced to prison for participating in that type of juvenile behavior. And they're saying that this guy really should be punished for his behavior. Now, I believe that there needs to be some sort of reprimand for this behavior, or even an expulsion if that is the case, because this type of behavior, again, is completely out of line. Here are individuals looking to do business to keep the government operational, and you have an individual who is showing that they're going to be disruptive to those operations. And like the junior high school kid who pulls this kind of stunt, there needs to be some sort of punishment, and there needs to be a message that the operations of the Congress are serious business, and it is not a place for individuals who want to go out here and participate in juvenile antics on either side of the aisle. And on either side of the aisle, again, this kind of juvenile behavior really needs to be checked by those who have some maturity, and it needs to be checked by those who have some maturity, because we don't need to see our representative offices turned into a big junior high school. I mean, that's sadly what we have here right now. I mean, over the last 30 years, I have watched as things have basically devolved ever since the Clinton administration's run-ins with the Red Party during the 90s to now, and it just has gotten so much worse. The juvenile and immature behavior that these individuals are participating in is unacceptable, because again, what are we showing to our children when we have grown men who have college degrees participating in juvenile behavior because they are upset that a bill is being put to take care of the American people? I mean, we had those on the right looking to keep this whole thing going because they were upset that about certain policies being put into place. Then we have these guys over here on the left acting out like a bunch of juvenile children. Again, I'm embarrassed by this as an American citizen, and I'm embarrassed by this as an American citizen because I know that we the people can do better than this type of behavior. This type of behavior is, again, embarrassing to watch a grown man go out here and try to make an excuse for not knowing where a fire exit is when everybody knows this by the time they're about 11 or 12 years old. And know when you see those red signs mean that that's not an exit that you go through unless there's a fire. And know that the red box that says fire is not one that you touch unless there's a actual fire inside of a building. So when I listened to that whole statement, again, it showed me an immature male in a position of power. And when you have an immature male in a position of power, they don't know how to go out here and show an example of leadership. No, they want to follow behind the cool kids. They want to get the clout from the cool kids. And that's not something a grown man should be doing. No, a grown man should be leading by example. A grown man should be showing people that he's going to be mature enough to go out here and vote to take care of we the people, not look to go out here and clout chase and create covert contracts to get brownie points with people who don't care. That's what's sad about this whole situation. Here we have Congress people who are supposed to be representing the people, but instead of representing as men and women, they are acting like children, showing me how the nation is filled with men and women in crisis, and showing me a country that is in bad shape. Because if the people don't understand how bad this makes the entire country look, when you have a congressman acting like a child, this is, again, it looks bad on the country, it looks bad on we the people, and it's a bad look for all of us, especially us foundational black Americans, because what this guy did makes it look like a black politician is incapable of being a leader, something many racists love to say. Many of those racists who were out there on January 6th, they basically are using this as a talking point to reinforce ideas that were presented in the movie Birth of a Nation regarding black males in leadership positions. And this whole situation again makes all black people look bad, because we don't have a black man looking to lead in a position of power. No, we have a man in crisis in a position of power, and this man in crisis almost created a crisis that could have led to a government shutdown due to his extremely immature behavior. Again, I was disgusted by the entire thing because it reminded me so much of junior high school, and sad to see grown men still acting like children, grown man still acting like a child, and it's embarrassing to watch a grown man who really has not grown up to manhood, but shows me how sadly our government is filled with a bunch of men and women in crisis. Now, if you want to learn more about what leads to beta males participating in many of the dysfunctional behaviors like I discussed in this video, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis at other online booksellers like Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play, and Barnes & Noble. And if you'd like to see me make more videos about men in crisis, you can send a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available in paperback and ebook, The Man Who Rules the World. John Haynes must bring together men and gods to overcome a threat that seeks to destroy the planet. The Man Who Rules the World. Now available in paperback and e-readers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, Escape from Transylvania. The goddess next door and John Haynes must escape a horde of vampires on the hunt in this horror-filled Isis series adventure. Get Isis, Escape from Transylvania in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
Support black-owned and black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.